Electric vehicles, also known as EVs, and do not require IC engines to operate. It's powered by an electric motor instead of the gas powered engine. Electric motor gets energy from a controller which guides the amount of the powered by the driver use of this. Accelerate the pedal. The electric car uses energy stored in the rechargeable batteries which are recharged by a common household electricity. Electricity EVs move along with our roadways without burning of the fuel and producing harmful exhaust emissions while generating less noise pollution. How electric vehicles works? Electric vehicles are like an automotive car. They have a forward and reverse mode. When you place the vehicle in gear and press the accelerator pedal, these things happen. Power is converted from the DC battery to AC for the electric motor. The accelerator pedal sends a signal to the controller which adjusts the vehicle speed by changing the frequency of the AC power from the inverter to the motor. The motor connects and runs the wheels through the cog. When the brakes are pressed on car, the decelerating motor becomes an alternator producing the power which is sent back to the battery. How does an electric motor works? If you want to understand how an electric motor works here and physical elements of electric motor, and it starts with understanding the principles of the two major parts, the stator and rotor. The stator and rotor electric car moves working using a physical process. This consists of using a current to create a magnetic field at the fixed parts of the machine called a stator, whose displacement sets a rotating parts called as a rotor. The difference between the two is easy. Remember, the stator is static while the rotor rotates. In a motor, the stator uses energy to create a magnetic field, then turns the rotor. What's the difference between the engine and a motor? And a motor refers to a machine that converts the energy into the mechanical energy, while an engine does the same thing but specifies the thermal energy. When talking about the converting thermal energy into mechanical energy, it means combustion, not electric. In other words, an engine is a type of the motor, but a motor is not necessarily an engine. With the electric vehicles, because the mechanical energy is created from the electricity, we use the word motor to describe the vehicle that makes the electric vehicles move. EV parts and functions. And if you are never driven an electric vehicle, still relatively simple, wrap a hand around the main parts. For example, instead of a gas tank, they have the batteries. Instead of engine, they have an electric motor. And instead of all tailpipe, when we have a no tailpipe, simple, right? But there are a few other parts that are EV owners should understand. The traction battery pack, the power inverter, electric traction motor, power electronics controller, battery, charge port, DC to DC converter, charger, and transmission. Traction battery pack. Traction battery pack. The function of the battery is an electric car is an electrical energy storage system in the form of the direct current electricity. If it gets a signal from the controller, the battery will transmit DC electrical energy to the inverter and then use it to drive the motor. The type of the battery used is a rechargeable battery arranged in such a way that it called traction battery pack. Power inverter. Power inverter. The inverter functions to change the direct current on the battery into an alternating current. Then this alternating current is used by an electric motor. In addition, the inverter on an electric car or vehicle has a function change the AC current while generating braking to the DC current and then use it to recharge the battery. The type of the inverter used in some electrical vehicle models is the bidirectional inverter category. Electric traction motor. The electric traction motors will work turning the transmission and wheels using the power from the traction battery pack. Some vehicles use motor generators that perform both the drive and the regeneration functions. In general, the type of electric motor used in the brushless DC motor, power electronic controllers. A control unit in an inverter and converter combination that recharges the battery pack of an electrical vehicle during the regenerative braking, which develops the kinetic energy. The flow of energy from the battery is controlled using a controller unit. In the tandem with the converter and inverter combinations, the DC motor controller system is still used today. Some of the electrical vehicles keep the cast iron, and with the advancement of the battery and less expensive electronics, many of the today's electrical vehicles are using AC motor controller some systems because of their improved motor efficiency and lightweight. In electric vehicles, the auxiliary batteries provides the electricity. The power vehicles accessories charge port. Charge port allows the vehicles to connect an external power supply in order to change the traction battery pack. DC to DC converter. This device converts the higher voltage DC power from the traction battery pack to the lower voltage DC power needed to run vehicle accessories and recharge the auxiliary battery. Charger. The charger is a battery charging device. Charges gets electricity from the outside sources such as a utility grid or solar power plants. There are two types of the electric vehicle chargers. On-board charger. This charger is located on and installed in a vehicle. Off-board charger. This is a charger not located or not installed in the vehicle. Thermal system cooling. This system maintains a proper operating temperature range of the engine, electric motor, electronics and other components. Transmission electric and transmission transfers the mechanical power from the electric traction motor and to drive the wheels. Types of electric vehicles. There are 4 types of the electrical cars available. They are battery electric vehicle, hybrid electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle and fuel cell electric vehicle. Let's find out more about these types and detail, starting with the battery electric vehicle. It is also called as an all-electric vehicles which run entirely on battery and electric driven train. Electricity is stored in a large battery pack that is charged by the plug into the electricity grid. The battery pack in turn provides the power is one or more electric motors to run the electrical car. Examples of the battery electric vehicles are Vulcan Quakes and Golf, Tesla Model 3, BMW i3, Chevy Belts and Nissan Leaf and more. Hybrid electric vehicle. These types of the vehicles are often called standard hybrid or parallel hybrid vehicles. This type of the vehicles both an internal combustion engine and electric motor. In this the internal combustion engine gets energy from the fuel, gasoline and other types of fuel, while the motor gets the power from the battery. The gasoline engine and electric motor together drive the transmission which drives the wheels. The difference between hybrid vehicles compared to the battery electrical vehicles is that in a hybrid, the battery can be charged by the IC engine. The speed of the wheels are a combination of the both. There is no charging port, so the battery cannot be recharged from outside of the system. Examples of hybrid electrical vehicles are Honda Civic Hybrid, Toyota Camry Hybrid. Plugged-in hybrid electric vehicles. It is a type of hybrid electrical with both IC engine and a motor. These types of the electrical vehicles provides a fuel option. These cars are provided by the conventional fuel such as a gasoline or an alternative fuel such as a biodiesel and a rechargeable battery pack. The battery pack can be charged electricity by plugging into the electrical outlet or electrical vehicle charging station. Plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle typically can be run in at least 2 modes. All electrical modes in which the motor and battery provides all the vehicles energy. Hybrid mode in which both the electricity and gasoline are employed. Some plug-in hybrid vehicles can travel more than 70 miles on electricity only.